My apartment complex extended my lease without my consent and then told me that I had to pay $1,300 for basically no reason. So I'm assuming that you guys have lived in an apartment before, and mine just decided to extend my lease another month without my consent. So I just recently moved to Texas about maybe a year ago, so I'm not familiar with any of the rules and regulations associated with renting. Where I'm previously from, I would just not renew my lease and move out. Well, here, apparently, you need to give a 60-day notice. So I gave a 45-day notice by accident because I had no idea that that was like a rule and regulation. So I go into the leasing office and I talk to them about it and I say, is there still a way that I can move out on June 12th? And they told me,
yeah, but you have to pay a $1,300 fee.
and then I looked at them and I said, but isn't that basically just a whole nother month's worth of rent? And they were like,
Yeah. Well, since you gave us a late notice, we have to charge you for another month's worth of rent.
and I was like, well, then I'm just going to stay another month.
I'm not gonna pay you $1,300 for fucking nothing.
And then they were like,
Oh, yeah, that's completely fine, too.
and I was like, I got a little frustrated. I was like, is there any way that you could,
Waive this fee?
because you can clearly see on my profile, I was using a Maine driver's license because that's where I'm originally from to get this place. They still didn't waive the fee, and the lady said it with a smile on her face. And she was like,
Oh, well, I'm very sorry about that, but I've never seen them waive it. You can go talk to the boss.
and then I go talk to the boss, and it's like, I'm not even going to get into like being disrespectful, but
She was like, yeah, sorry, we can't do that for you.
the office that I was in has just done like a major overhaul. All of the old management that was here when I moved in here, they were absolute ballers. I loved all of them. They just got suddenly like moved out and replaced with these fucking people, these miserable ass, terrible people. Ever since then, this place has been going downhill. I was making all these plans to move into a new place basically in the middle of June, but now I have to push all those plans back to July. I have no idea if the place that I want still is going to be available because it's a month later. Probably not. So it fucked up all my plans. I mean, I have a part-time job that's close to where I live right now, and I'm going to be moving on the other side of the city. So that job's going to get fucking phased out of reality. I'm not going to drive 35 minutes for a part-time job. Probably going to have to pick up a new one. Like, moving is such an adjustment, you know? It's like digging up a flower and then replanting it somewhere else. That's the best way to describe it. And for somebody my age, like, it's pretty easy to do because I haven't developed like a decade's worth of history anywhere. It's not like I have like a bunch of shit stored somewhere that I need to find a place for. I'm pretty modest in terms of my living style, but every time you move, it's stressful. And I mean, when somebody just adds $1,300 to your plate for no reason, that's a bit of a concern. And especially when they do it with a smile on their face, acting as if they'd been working here since you got here. It's like, you guys have not been here the whole time.
You've been here for 3 months.
When I was getting the filter replaced on my AC unit, it looked like it hadn't been replaced in like 3 years. It had black and green mold all over it. And I had gotten sick a couple days previously, and I was wondering why. And then I pulled the thing off. I'm not supposed to do that, but I basically did a little bit of my own maintenance. And I saw the filter, and it looked like it hadn't been replaced since like 2021, 2022. And I was like, I immediately sent a thing through the portal, and I was like, hey, can we get this like fixed immediately? Because this is like something I could sue you for. And then next thing you know, they fixed it within the same day. It's funny how they fix something like that within a couple hours, but when you put in a request for anything else, it takes like 3 days. Obviously, I'm not going to dox myself, but this entire complex has gone downhill since they swapped out the old management. And it was cool because they removed a rule about the pool, because the pool was only open until 8:30 p.m. last year. This year, they removed that rule, so it's open 24 hours. But then they took all the great management and just
They disappeared.
There was no community post. There was nothing, like no note saying like, goodbye guys, we're going to be, nope. They just completely like phased them out of reality. And now we have like this shitty management team that will charge a 23-year-old $1,300, even though he had no idea that there was a 60-day notice that he needed to give. Like, oh, just
$1,300, sorry.
and then they smile at you when they tell you they're going to charge you the $1,300. It's like, yeah, because that's something to smile about. That's customer service right there. I know that my old management team would have easily waived that, and they would have said, yeah, we get it. I mean, because they knew my story, what I had to go through and to get here and stuff like that. So they would be like, yeah, no worries. But this new team, they were talking as if they'd been working here for like years, but they've been here for 3 months. And so far, there's been a drastic decline. And I've noticed a lot less people wanting to move in here. There's construction right next to my apartment complex. That shit pisses me the fuck off. I'm driving my car. I have to worry about these fucking rock chips all over my fucking hood every 5 seconds when I'm driving down the street. I have this beautiful 3rd floor corner apartment. But the problem is that it's right next to the construction. So it would be a beautiful apartment if it wasn't for that. And it's been going on for over 6 months now. They still haven't finished the construction. It's been over 6 months. I've always paid my rent on time. I've always done exactly what I'm supposed to do. And then when they can clearly see that I'm not lying, I'm not from here, I had no idea, they're like,
Yep, fuck you. You're gonna pay another $1,300, buddy, and you're gonna like it.
But yeah, for those of you that are planning on moving out, I would suggest that you definitely read up on these policies and you definitely take a look at your lease before you sign the paperwork, because that's one thing that I didn't do. I just sort of signed the paperwork because I liked the way it looked without actually doing my research, because at the time I had just turned 22 and I was like, oh, whatever, it's nice. Biggest mistake of my life. Now I'm a lot more educated, and I'm actually about to move out of this place in about a month or two and move into a different place. I'm sure for basically the majority of us, if somebody had just told you, yeah, well, you know that rent that you're paying this month? We're going to add on $1,300 to that balance, just,
Casually.
and you're going to have to pay it because, we know that you weren't educated on, the rules and regulations because
You're not fucking from here.
and you're also 22 years old. But,
Money's money and we need your money. So give us the money now, you fucking piece of shit.
I guess the moral of the story is if you move in and your management team is cool and you like them, don't expect them to stick around because chances are they're probably going to get moved to a different location without anyone even being told about it. Because that's exactly what happened to me. And that's basically why I'm paying $1,300 extra this month. I left a really nice review when I first moved in here because the management team was so great. But when I move out of this place, I'm going to update the review on Google. And
I've already typed up everything.
and I've revised it. Just needless to say,
They're gonna get cooked.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like, just read the paperwork, learn the rules and regulations, and don't do what I did.